Hello.
Hi.
Wake up. Wake up. We're podcasting.
I just wanted to see how she'd react if I said nothing for the intro. Hi, we're Faking Sanity, and we run a bookstore yarn shop in Dawson Creek, BC. Canada. And I'm Lou, or Ange.
I'm Cindy.
And yeah, we're Faking Sanity.
We are Faking Sanity.
And we're going to talk with you about knitting and stuff.
Knitting and stuff. I think actually it's mainly knitting today. Oh, and culture consumed.
Yeah, we had planned to podcast last week, and I still wasn't feeling well, so we just postponed it and did it this week. So
Don't hit the table.
We have more to talk about this week.
Do we?
And I will not hit the table anymore.
I will hit you. Hi.
She's vicious.
Yes, I'm vicious. So mean. Okay.
Yeah, so intro's done. Oh, but
she had this tangent she wanted to go on. She planned a tangent and then didn't do it.
Well, you have to plan tangents. Otherwise, they don't go the way you want. I wanted to talk about in the intro how we haven't been here for a while, so you haven't heard our big news. And our big news is it's supposed to snow this week for 3 days. So
we're ready.
We're ready. Snow!
Oh, snow.
I love fall and I love winter.
I love fall. I like the first month or so of winter. Once it hits 6 months, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Yes. But
she's a bad Canadian.
yeah. No, I think most Canadians are sick of winter. But yeah, it won't. It better not stick. It's supposed to snow, but not stick. So.
Yeah. Last year it snowed in September and it stuck.
I ate some fiber off my hat.
You're supposed to get your fiber from your cereal, not your hat.
Part of a high fiber diet.
She's a weirdo.
Okay, so you saw my FOs, so I might as well talk about them.
Yes.
Rainbow hats.
Yay!
Ooh, I did 2 of them.
They're super bright and cheery.
They are.
They'll get you through the winter, no problem.
They're not for me.
Oh, you're going to sell these ones?
I have many hats.
Yeah.
I made these to sell.
Yeah.
So I did some rainbow hats. So this one just goes through the rainbow once, and this one goes through the rainbow twice.
I like the double.
Me too. They're really simple, basic hats. I kind of have a hat pattern in my head, out of Estelle Worsted, which is a great yarn. It's like part acrylic, part wool. I didn't write that stuff down, but it's fabulous. And so I got rainbow colors.
And it's great we have a lot of people who come through just looking for quick gifts, but aren't wanting to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you can't charge enough for your hand knits to make them worth the while, but you at least want to cover the cost of the yarn. So having a little bit lower cost yarn helps.
Yeah, and so the actual yarn in this, because I got it at wholesale prices, costs me about $5. So I can sell them cheap enough. Especially, we have a lot of LGBTQIA plus youth, teenagers that hang out in our store. So I wanted to make some rainbow stuff in case they wanted it, or people who wanted to show their support.
Yeah.
Plus, just for people who like rainbows.
Yeah. It's very cheery.
So, yeah, my hats.
Cheery,
those are my only FOs besides the shawl I showed you last week.
The shawl was impressive.
Last week, 2 weeks ago.
We went.
Sorry. We went to the
yesterday
wedding last
to the
night.
wedding, and she was wearing. She looked beautiful, and
Yes.
she had her shawl on, and they survived all the hecticness of planning a wedding.
And doing, she was
finally got
crazy.
to
She did all the
enjoy them.
decorating and everything herself, and like made her flowers and made her everything. So but it's all over, and she's happily married.
Oh, I do have another FO.
What?
Some artwork. She had crayons on. So on the tablecloths, it was a very casual wedding, and on the tables, there were like big long banquet tables, and she had decorated
Paper.
jars with crayons in them and paper on top of the table setting, and so I drew.
She drew Rebecca's farm. So a barn and a horse and a cow and a sheep
And a piggy.
and a pig and a goat's
horse.
tail, because that's all she
Yeah,
felt
I
that
don't
she-
know how to draw. And I didn't have internet, so I couldn't look at a picture of an animal to see what it looked like.
It was and yes, everyone loved it. So I think it might be saved.
I hope
That's
not.
the kind of thing Rebecca will save.
I hope it gets buried in a box somewhere. But it was fun.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
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 But yeah, she
Country
loved
wedding.
the shawl, and it looked perfect with her dress. So I'm so glad.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was my FO. So that's yeah.
That's it for FOs, because I have had startitis and I've started
Yes.
all the things.
Yes.
So let me show you my oldest whip to start, because it's the one you're probably
Yeah.
sick of seeing, so
You
we'll
don't have
move
to see too
on to
much.
the exciting stuff. So I had finished one of my dad's socks, and it's a nice long one. Usually I make them to here, so it's like a good 3 inches longer than usual. And this one's already at the usual length, the length of his foot. So I've got another 3 inches to go, and I'll be done. So easily done before Christmas. I'm very excited.
Yeah. The yarn is Red Heart Comfort.
Red Heart Comfort. It wears well, and it's not itchy, and
And it's cheap.
it's a good color for him. He likes blue, so
Yeah.
yeah. And it's machine washable, which is important.
Which is vital.
Yeah, and it's just a 3x1 rib sock. I've mentioned this before, with the sweet tomato heel by Cat Bordy. And Cindy hates it, and I love it. And I don't know how my dad feels about it, but it's the one he gets on his socks.
I liked knitting it.
Yeah,
It didn't fit me.
yeah,
Well,
it fits me so
yeah.
nicely. It's probably my go-to for most things, unless it's a yarn that has not a lot of elasticity. Then I might go for a heel flap, but this is my go-to heel.
Cool.
So that's my first FO. Whip. What's yours?
Well, since we're talking socks, I'm making a sock.
Socks.
I think, I didn't have this started last time.
Pink.
I'm pink and purple and blue, oh my.
Crazy
I'm
craziness.
knitting top-down socks, but
Also
I did
crazy
I did the
craziness.
fish lips kiss heel.
You're liking that one, hey?
I really like it, and I tried this one on, and, well, I liked it in mini socks. I did lots in mini socks,
Yeah.
but I tried this one on, and it fits perfectly
Cool.
for me, so that's great. This yarn is Marion Jade Fiber Arts. The colorway is Heartbreaker,
Nah.
which I love. So, the Marion Jade Fiber Arts is Emily Perdue, and she dyes them in Squamish, which is BC.
Yeah.
So that's cool, and I got it at Hippy Strings.
I was going to say, even though you bought it in Alberta.
Yeah, I got it at Hippy Strings, and I quite love it. It basically, gobstopper winding gets me every time.
It always looks so cool.
Yeah, it really does. It shows
Dyers
off
who
well.
do this
It's
have
extra
the
work.
patience
Yes.
of saints. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's incredibly labor intensive.
Yeah.
And I
But
think everybody who does this should be charging way more for their yarn.
Well,
but not everybody does. Like,
Yeah.
they're usually a little bit more, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
and it came with a little
With a mini.
mini, so I did the heel out of it. I didn't do the ribbing out of it because I wasn't sure how much I had.
Look, there's a gray hair. You're getting
Are you
old.
sure? I've had gray hair since I was 17. Yeah. So, woot, my sock. I'm just doing a basic in my head pattern, except for the fish lips kiss heel. So,
Her head is so gray that we had a technician come by from the security company this week, and they thought she was my mom.
I'm 2 years younger than her.
It was hysterical. It was awesome. My mom got a good chuckle out of it this morning too.
My mom got a good chuckle out of it too.
Yes, she did.
No fair.
It was a lot of fun. Anyway, I have more whips. What do I want to do next? Let's do this one. This one, I was testing out some new bases, and I had mentioned that I had dyed some mohair bases, so it's super, super fuzzy. You can see kind of the fuzz on top there. And this one's just a mohair nylon lace weight. It's like 800 meters per 50 grams.
50 grams? Wow.
It's super fine, but the fuzz is super loose and fuzzy, like big. So you can kind of see there.
It looks like my gray hair.
It does.
it
But
stick
I
out
didn't
here?
know what I wanted to do with it, so I just dyed it gray because I thought I can pair it with anything. And then I couldn't decide on anything fun and new, so I stuck with a tried and true classic, the Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits. So this is the Handmaiden Casbah 5-ply gradient set in the pinks, and I just am going through the color repeat, and I've got one row left of this pale pink before I start the crown. So yeah, and
Are you going to do the crown in the pale pink?
I'm not sure, which is why it's sitting at this point right now. So it's just a basic color blocked gradient, and it's got the gray mohair in it. Let me see if I can get it close enough to see there. So you can kind of see it looks a little bit marled throughout because I'm carrying a strand of each. And it's super soft, and it's fuzzy, but not too fuzzy. Like, see if I can... You get a little bit of fuzz, but the regular yarn helps trap it in, not just like a straight mohair. So I quite like it.
It's all the rage right now.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not my cuppa.
I don't like this. Like, I don't like too fuzzy. Like, it's super soft. I like it in that sense.
It's weird.
But I don't like garments out of just mohair, but I'm quite liking
together with
yeah, it's a little fuzzy but not too much.
See,
I wouldn't want a sweater out of it, but I think it'd be fabulous for mitts and hats to keep you warm.
See, all I need to do is just run my hand over my finished project
and
and
it's
it'll look
fuzzy.
the same. Fuzzy.
She has sandpaper hands.
I do.
Yep.
They're getting better.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. I just fake it. And we're going into the winter.
Where they'll dry out even more.
Yeah, that's fine.
I gotta make some more lotion.
Maybe I should, drink some water rather than Coca-Cola. Okay, I have a whip. So, I've been making a few mini socks.
Just
You've
a few.
seen them if you've watched before. Well, wee.
Oh, you got half of them off camera.
No, they did just fine. I've been making some more because I got a order.
Yeah.
As a customer asked if I could do 25 mini socks for her to do a advent calendar with, which I think is so great. So the newest ones, this one and this one, are in Sea Turtle Fiber Arts yarn. Ridley Sock. I always say Ridley Scott. He's a director.
Ridley Sock.
Yeah, Ridley Sock. I love this sock yarn. I cannot wait to actually make myself socks with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just made some mini socks. Obviously, I haven't woven in ends. I haven't done the I-cord loops, but you love this one?
I love this.
I know.
It's
so
like,
cute.
It's so vibrant.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Well, this is too. These purples. These are both from. I just got like a grab bag of minis from her. Actually, I got like 4 of them. And I love them. I love minis.
Yeah. Oh, you made one from your
My
hat.
rainbow. Yeah. This is my sock yarn. My rainbow sock yarn. Biscotte.
That's right.
I did
It's
that
not
ages
worsted.
ago. Yeah, the colors are a little different. But I did this ages ago, so I wasn't going to show that one.
I hadn't seen it.
I did an opal. This is opal graffiti. It's really cute. And then...
Whereas like iron, if you're looking for good sock yarns, the German sock yarns you can't
Opal,
beat for like
Osterman
hard-wearing
Step.
stocks.
They are fabulous sock yarns.
Yeah.
And then I did this one. It's her yarn. She dyed it.
It was supposed to be a mini just to test the color, but then I didn't like the color, so I added black to it, and I was like, well, that's not good for a color sampler anymore.
I did her up a whole bunch of little 5-gram minis so that she could dye them in the actual, just standard like concentration of dye of all her different dyes. And then I said I'd knit them up so that she could see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she didn't actually do one of her dyes, so I got to knit it into a sock.
Started that way, and I was like, oh, it should be a little darker.
If you dye up all these, instead of just making like a long rainbow of them, I could just make you a whole bunch of mini socks of all your dye colors.
They wouldn't fit in a binder as well, but they'd
No.
be cooler.
Yeah, so I've got some mini socks.
minis.
Lots of minis to weave in ends and do I-cords on.
Yeah, I don't see many ends woven in on any of these.
This one is. That one has an I-cord. Oh, that one's done.
Yay.
That one's done. Some of the older ones are done. But yeah, anyway, so that's my whip. I don't have an actual... I didn't bring my actual sock that I'm working on. But I have my work in progress is lots and lots of mini socks because I actually have a purpose for making them now.
Yes.
So
And they're fun.
And they're so much fun. There was some mini mitts in there too. They're so much fun. I gotta do some more of those too.
She,
Oh, this is a new one too. This is Dream in Color Classy or Smooshy? Which is the sock weight? Smooshy.
Smooshy.
Smooshy. It's their old, like, they've changed it quite a bit.
Yeah, that's Black Parade, right?
Yeah, Black Parade. I bought enough of this to make a sweater and never did. Ended up making a lot of hats and
Who
stuff.
does that?
Yeah.
I have a giant vacuum bag the size of this table that's just sweater
This
yarns.
is a big table, trust me. Yeah. Yeah. Next.
Okay. Sock. Let's finish the socks. I have one more sock, but this one is more impressive for me because
cool.
it's this is what it looks like so far.
I mean, the sock itself is not
So
necessarily
it's very
cool.
plain. It's just a plain vanilla sock. But this was my first really successful attempt at dyeing fiber. So this, few podcasts ago, I showed some Knit Picks stroll roving, which is top, even though they call it roving, that I had dyed. And I loved it. And then I spun it, and now I've started knitting it. So it'll be a sock that goes from purple to blue, with a few shades in between, so I used a few different shades of purple. And then the second one, I think I'm going to do the opposite, from blue to purple.
That's cool.
So, because they won't match exactly, so may as well make it intentionally not match, but
Yeah.
they'll be definitely a pair. And it's nice and sturdy because I spun it super tight. But I love the color, and I love the depth. Like, the depth you get from hand spun, because you get the little white bits add a little, I don't know, depth to the colors and flecks and stuff. And yeah, I really love it. Socks.
That is going to be so cool that you'll have dyed the fiber, spun it, and then knit it into socks.
Yeah.
And so cool.
It's on my new needles.
I got her hooked. Ciao goo.
I did not need to buy more needles.
She did not.
I have a schwack load of needles.
It's a technical measurement.
It's a
schwack
technical
load.
measurement. Once you've surpassed what is reasonable to have, you have a schwack load. I have a schwack load of Knit Picks needles, and I love them.
And then she bought the collage.
And then I bought the set of collage because I loved the swivel on the needles. Absolutely love it. And that's what I'm knitting my dad's socks on, is my collage needles. And I'm loving them for Magic Loop. But then she got me hooked on these Chowgoo red lace minis, the mini cords. So I bought the set.
Such a nice point.
They're super pointy.
Oh, they're pointy. Oh,
Here, let me show a comparison.
They're pointy. Oh,
Here. So this is a Knit Picks needle, which I find really quite pointy.
pointier than the
And
old
this
Addies.
is the
Chowgoo.
Chowgoo, which you can see is even finer at the tip by quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
Can I show it? Oh, against black there. You can see it better there. So it's quite a bit pointier. And so I don't know that I'd ever want it for like cables or something where I knit tighter naturally. But
I'm thinking it'll be perfect for cables.
it's
I'm
awesome.
working on something cabled, and for some reason, I just automatically did it on Knit Picks needles because that's what we have.
Yeah, the most of.
Yeah.
And what we've always had.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to switch it over.
It has, so these needles, it has the different size cords. Cindy had mentioned that on a couple of them. So I just put on the adapter to use the mini cord on the bigger size needle. So look how this join is. It is so, like, it's not smooth because it's smaller, but there's
you
no...
can't see the join.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not smooth as in all the same size because the join is actually smaller than the needle. This is the connector here. But it is so smooth. Like, there's no catching on the yarn or anything. I love it. And I love how flexible this cord is. It's not as soft as the collage ones, which that's what drew me to them in the first place. But it's really nice cord, and it twists up and untwists really nicely. So,
I'm really addicted to them right now.
yeah, I bought a set.
We had when we first started this, we were like, we're not going to talk about our needles, right? Because all our needles are Knit Picks.
Yeah.
And now we're like, we've got needles everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have 3 different brands of needles now,
Yeah, I have 2.
and you have 2.
Well, I have an Addy, which I don't like.
Yeah. They're pretty blunt. You would
They're
probably
very
like
blunt.
the Addy
and
lace.
Yeah,
but-
the Addy lace, I've had a lot of people tell me that the Addy lace is much pointier.
Yeah.
But I can't afford them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, but that reminds me. This is comparable to the Hiya Sharps.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
It's thinner, but it's the same pointiness.
Yeah.
Pointiness?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean.
They're great anyway.
Yeah.
I really
Anyway.
like them.
I'm enjoying all my sock knitting on all my needles.
And speaking of cables, I've just started a cable shawl. So
This is going to be awesome.
this shawl, it's another one from the Celtic Cable Shawls by Lucy Haig. This is called Taliesin. So this is supposed to be done in fingering weight yarn, and I am doing it in chunky. This is Cascade Echo, which truthfully I'd actually call an Aran.
Yeah.
But it's just fabulous, and these cables, I love her book. So the other shawl I had done was the first pattern in the book, and each one kind of gets a little more difficult. And I was like, oh well, that was no problem. And I skipped to the second to last, and it is more complicated because there's like ones that make it go like completely sideways,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And completely closed cables.
Oh yeah, but there was already completely closed on the other one too. But anyway, so this is not very far in, and it's going to be a massive, massive shawl, because it's a pretty big shawl to start with. Yeah. And I'm doing it way bigger. It's going to be a massive shawl. I'm just going to
It's going to be a blanket.
Yeah. And I love Cascade Echo. It's just such a... It's crunchy, and yet
But it's
soft.
not. It's not crunchy. It's
pretty crunchy right now.
Well, it's not.
Look, it's a beard.
It's not got a very soft hand.
I'm strange. Sorry.
It's not got a very soft hand, but it's not stiff and crunchy. It's just...
No, but I'm especially the undyed stuff, which is, this is just natural. It's been washed less. So it's pretty au natural. It's rustic, but it's great. I've used it lots, and basically as soon as you wash it up, it's just nice and nice and soft.
You have a shawl that she knit actually in this same color, like their natural brown. It's just a different shade.
Oh, I was gonna say this is more gray, gray
but
brown.
She did a fingering
gray.
weight shawl, the Orchid Thief, in this. Just didn't change anything. Just knit it in Aran instead of fingering, and instead of this little delicate shawl, it's this down to my butt massive. Cozy up in a chair and read a book shawl, and I love it. It's perfect for winters up here.
And I use the only thing I use DPNs for, because I do not use DPNs
Because they're evil.
for knitting in the round or anything. I use them, well actually I use them for two things. I use them as cable needles and for knitting I-cord.
Yep.
So, but yes. So, and they're the only thing, it's the only time I use the wooden needles.
Helps them not slide off.
Yeah, because I don't know, I use kind of whatever is handy for cable needles, but I don't like actual cable needles, so I find DPNs handy for that, and luckily there's usually some around somewhere. That's my last whip. You have two more?
I have two more.
Okay.
How did that happen? I must have skipped
Because
one.
if we alternate, that would make you would have four and I'd have three. That's why I was like, it's not going to work. Anyway.
I can't count.
She has five. I have three.
This one was a colorwork project that I talked about, and you saw it when it was about, there, last podcast.
Yeah.
So it's the Hertuatar mittens. It's just called Hertuatar by Tina Koo, and I'm knitting it out of Holst Supersoft, and the red is the Venetian colorway, and the white, which is not their most bleached white, but it is whiter than their natural white, and it's called bleached white, not ultra bleached white. But I love this pattern, and it's a top-down, top-down colorwork mitt, which isn't super common. That's the palm, and that's the outside, so it'd be like this. I just bound off because I was teaching a colorwork class this week, and I decided I wanted them more fitted, so I'm going down a needle size, but I love how it looks. But the yardage on the yarn is so amazing that I didn't worry about losing this. I just thought I'd keep it as a class sample and show some tips and not to-dos.
Not to-dos?
Well, there was somewhere in here. Mistakes. So, so when it says not to... when you're catching your floats, not to do it in the same spot all the time. One of the reasons is you get a little bit of a visible tweak, and that's that little blip right there. It's on the inside But there's 2 of them there because
no.
I carried, the second one isn't quite so visible, but I did my catching my float on the edge at the same spot both times because it's like 15 stitches around for those couple of rows. And I did it at the same spot, which wasn't a good idea. And so I'm just not going to do that next time. But it was a good thing to show in the class. So, yeah. So that was my first colorwork mitt. And my second one was the one I did for the class. So I designed a mitten, just a basic colorwork fingerless mitt. It's not done yet. I have to put the thumb on here. So it's called the Pacific Dogwood Mittens. And it's just got corrugated ribbing on the bottom and a little flower pattern on the front. And can I twist my arm that way? Maybe this way. And a striped thumb.
Here, want me to help?
Thanks. So a striped thumb that stripes down the side. And the thumb will just be striped all the way up. So that's all I have left to do. And I was so pleased with the class. It went super well. All 3 ladies caught on to the techniques really easily. And this is just out of Louet Gems Worsted. So I don't recommend colorwork with superwash yarn, but...
Why not?
So non-superwash yarn will fill out the gaps more.
Oh.
So you get a more cohesive fabric and your floats won't show through as much. And yeah, it just makes a more cohesive fabric. But it works fine. It's a little slipperier, so it's a little harder to keep your tension even.
It looks fab.
But I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, I didn't weave in my ends, even though I cast off. So there's a tail here. But
what a shock. I need to start doing the whip lucky dip again because I've collected quite a few projects that are almost done.
Yeah, you're bad.
But not done.
I like
These,
the thumb.
I wove in the ends.
They're all done. They're ready for snow this week.
Yeah. So
I'm wearing my boots because it's not too cold to wear boots.
I'm wearing knit socks because I'm not broiling.
It's fabulous. I love fall.
It's like 5 degrees out.
I love fall.
Something else in Fahrenheit. I have no clue.
5 degrees is about 34 degrees. No, about 36.
It doesn't matter. Around there.
34 to 36.
Okay.
But yeah, I love them.
I thought 38 was 0.
32 is 0.
32 is 0. Okay.
See, pretty mitts. And the tension's not great. They're not blocked yet because I haven't finished the thumb. But I love them. And I love the optical illusion of like narrowing stripes when you do a wide thing of vertical stripes like that. That's cool. It's like the Doppler effect.
Sure.
I'm not a geek. That's the last
Yes,
of
you
my...
are, actually.
That's the last of my whips.
Okay.
And I love them. Those are going to be for me when they're done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't fit anyone else. They're pretty tight.
Yeah.
Actually, I got them on, but...
They fit me perfectly, like with room to spare.
Well, she's got really tiny little wrists. I do
yeah.
not have tiny little wrists. But...
Yeah, I do have tiny little
So,
wrists.
we're done whips.
Yeah.
I added up the Alaska Highway make-along, and we have officially passed Fort Nelson. Actually, we flew by Fort Nelson.
We flew by.
Because I was supposed to add it up 2 weeks ago, but then we didn't actually do a podcast.
Yeah.
So, as of today, we are 481.56 kilometers up the Alaska Highway.
Yay!
Woohoo! We never thought we'd get this far. So, we passed Fort Nelson, which was at 454 kilometers. So, we did a prize draw.
Yes, we said we would have a prize draw coming for the next podcast, and then we didn't do a next
Woohoo!
podcast.
Yeah.
So, prize!
So, there were the numbers 1 through 53.
There were 53 participants.
There were 53 participants, 55 with us.
We don't count.
We don't get prizes.
Yeah.
I mean, we give ourselves prizes. If I ever actually put up all my projects, I'll give myself a prize. But anyway, so we did a random number generator, and the winner was 33, which is Arline, who is not a podcast viewer.
She's
one of our Knit
local
Night ladies.
ladies.
So she will be thrilled.
Yeah.
We have to be.
I think this is the first of our Knit Night ladies that's
Yes.
won.
Well, we did some little...
We did a couple where we did one local and one podcast early on for the little ones, but I think this is the first prize going to a Knit Night person.
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't bring... We didn't put it together to show you.
No,
This time we could have showed.
but it's okay
Yeah.
because we had decided when we'd
We'll just
asked
take a picture.
everybody, we'll show a picture of the prizes
Yeah.
on the following podcast, I think, because that gives everybody like 2 weeks to watch the podcast so that they can still be surprised.
Yeah.
And then we'll show the picture on the following podcast if anybody's interested.
So we are, so we're at 481.56 kilometers. I was actually going to we have not been getting stuff done except work. Work has been
it's
overwhelming.
Been busy. Yeah.
Been really busy
It's
and
been
stuff.
really busy.
But I was going to show you an actual map of where we're going and how much further we have to go. But
We can do that next time.
so we are almost to the Highway 77 junction. There isn't a whole lot of great spots along the highway to tell you about, but it's kind of neat because it's where we meet the Liard Highway to Fort Liard in the Northwest Territories and the Mackenzie Highway to Fort Simpson in the Northwest Territories. Mm-hmm. And then our next milestone is going to be Liard Hot Springs at 764.7 kilometers.
There was no way I
ways.
ever dreamed we would get there.
I
and
really didn't think
now
we'd get to
I
Fort-
think
well, I didn't
we'll
think we'd
get
get to
there
Fort
in the
John.
next few months.
Yeah, easily.
3 to 6 months at the
Yeah.
most.
Especially if I add up all mine.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, every like month or so we have someone new join, and then so they go, oh look, I did
Here's
10
what I did this
kilometers. Oh, like the lady who did the stash down, stash dash. That's what it's called. Like 10 kilometers. I'm like,
That's
wow.
over the summer. That's from the
That's
time
amazing.
Joe, when they get out of school, Joe's a teacher, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and when they get out of school is the first day of Stash Dash. So that's just basically July and August. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And some people do 15 kilometers in the summer.
See, what started this whole thing was I was challenging myself to knit approximately 10 kilometers. I was going to go to Puskupi, which is the next town over.
Which is written Puskupi.
It's anglicized. It's Puskupi around here. No one makes it sound French at all.
Yeah.
But it means cut thumb.
It does.
Yeah. There were a lot of French settlers around this area.
The town name sounds a little classier when you say Puskupi instead of cut thumb.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does.
Where do you live? Cut thumb.
Well, I mean, there's Cut Bank. There's lots of funny names.
Randomness.
Yes.
It's what you come here for, right?
Yeah.
My opinion on town names.
Okay. Speaking of towns, we're going to a different one next weekend.
We are.
A city, actually.
We're going to Prince George. You've heard us talk about this and allude to it a couple of times, but this summer there was the Great Northwest Playing with Strings yarn crawl. It changed names when it added a yarn shop in Alberta, Hippy Strings, which is about 2 hours from here.
No, it's not.
An hour and a half?
Yeah, about that.
An hour and a half. Yeah, and so now
we do distances in hours driven,
Yes.
not like kilometers or anything. That's a very northern thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Edmonton is 7 hours away.
Yeah.
No idea how far, but 7 hours.
Well, I was just
Prince
looking
George is 5 hours away.
I was actually just looking up how far Prince George was. 4 hours and 25 minutes. Apparently going the speed limit.
Anyway, so
Without construction. Yeah, that'll happen.
yeah, the yarn crawl is done now.
Nope. Oh yeah, today. Today's the last day.
The 9th is the last day, and then next Sunday, the kind of event to cap it all off is the Fibre Fest in Prince George, and there are some dyers from McBride that are coming down with a booth. There's Natalie, who we met this past month. Is a
Stitch markers.
chainmail
No,
or
not chainmail.
stitch
Stitch
marker.
markers. I do chainmails.
Yes, I was thinking you like
The things I do.
stitch markers
But,
because you
yeah.
do them.
Stitch markers?
I can't talk.
No, and someone doing bags and a
there's
couple stores.
Yeah, a bag maker, top drawer from Prince George is going to be there. We're going to take down the entire yarn
Well, as much as we can
section
fit into my
our
little car.
store. Everything, I think, except for the Cascade, which is super bulky and you can get
Probably
pretty
not the
easily.
Louet gems.
And
And I don't know about the Cascade cotton. But anything hand-dyed will be coming.
yeah. And
Yeah.
all our needles will be getting an assortment of some, maybe not every.
Are we taking the knit picks? I thought Top Drawer sold knit picks. Mm-mm. Oh,
No, they said all our needles are not available there.
well.
So we'll be bringing at least the sets of all our needles and
I think
some
we might have to put you
individuals
into
of
the
some of
seat
them.
and then fill around you.
I can carry needles. This is fine for a 5-hour drive, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have a fun technical challenge, packing the car.
It will be loads of fun.
We've got lots of vacuum bags, and we're going to be closed. So if any of you are in the area and plan trips on the weekends, we actually are closing on the Saturday so that we can pack up the car and drive down so that we're ready for Sunday morning for the Fibre Fest. So don't come here next Saturday. We will.
Or the Monday after, because we're going to...
packing up and driving back.
Our plan was to work the Saturday, pack up the car, drive down. I don't know why I thought that was going to be possible, because we close at 5, and I am not driving through the Pine Pass, the mountains, at like midnight. And then work, and then we were planning on coming back the Sunday night, and we're like, this is stupid. So instead, we're coming back Monday.
And we've been in a bad car accident before, and I'd rather her awake when she's driving. So
that's a plus.
It is. That's not why we had a car accident.
Yeah, it was
But
ice.
just, I'm paranoid at the best of times. I'm extra paranoid in a car now. So I was trying to convince her to not drive at night. Yeah, that's pretty much how I ride.
Yes. Luckily, she does not grab me while I'm driving. I think she did once and I punched her, but
I didn't. I grabbed the door.
She does grab the door. Yes, we're fine. I'm under control.
I know you are.
Anyway.
I believe you.
Anyway, yeah.
So if you're in Prince George or in the area, please come by and say hi. We're going to be doing some spinning demos.
She's going to be doing some spinning
I'll
demos.
be doing some spinning demos on an electric spinner. If you've been interested in trying one or checking out one of those, I'll have one with me. And if you have questions...
God, we got to pack that into the car too.
Yes, it might sit on my lap.
Yeah.
But
actually, no, it would go down in the footwell really well.
Anyway, we'll
I
have
clean my car.
tons of yarn. We'll have tons of needles. We'll have a variety of buttons and pom-poms.
We're taking buttons?
Sure.
Okay.
Everything's going to fit in.
We're taking my chainmail, stitch markers, and progress keepers. And
We're taking, so I do aromatherapy and handmade soaps.
It might just be in bins on the floor in front of our table, but...
I'm going to take the knitted soaps, so they look like knitted fabric, and the little sheep, because they're adorable.
They are.
And I've got some aromatherapy blends that I'm going to bring down. So there's a kind of focus concentration one called Shh, I'm Counting. And there's like a nice wake me up kind of citrusy one. And that one's going to be just one more row, just one more row. So yeah, there'll be a few fun knitting themed ones. That I think will be fun.
We're excited. We're kind of
I'm terrified.
We've never done a booth in a Fibre Fest or anything before.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. We'll see.
It's terrifying. I'm hiding it by smiling lots and being extra chatty, but I'm terrified.
Yeah. I'm like, we'll go with the flow. If we sell it all, excellent. If we sell none, well, damn, the hotel cost us some money. No biggie.
I'm not good at go with the flow.
She's really not good with go with the flow. But that's all right. She's also trying to plan how we're going to put it out, and I'm like, we don't even know what the table is going to look like. It's fine. Well, yes, it's a 6-foot table. That's basically what we know.
Yes.
And then we're just taking some stuff to put on top of it and around it, and we're excited. But
It'll
come
be
visit
fun.
us if you can. Yeah.
Come visit.
Okay.
We'd love to see you and say hi.
Culture consumed.
Lots of culture.
Lots of culture. Well, it's been a month.
It's been a month. I'm reading a new book.
What book?
I am reading Tomboy Survival Guide by Ivan Coyote. And it's super fun.
I really want to read that too.
Fun is maybe not the best. The writing's really good, but I really love throughout the book, not related to what's being talked about at all, there are random drawings of mechanical processes. There's this one's about batteries. There's one about an engine, how to put together an engine. They're hysterical. It's super random and I love it.
How to put together an iron.
Yeah, they talk about
All the pieces of an iron.
growing up in Whitehorse and then moving down when they moved down to Vancouver, the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
It's really, I love the writing. And
I've read some other
stories
by
are really
Ivan.
good. I've read a couple now, and
Very, very good.
and it's every chapter is kind of a different story from their childhood or growing up or something, and it's really, really good. I like it.
My book that I just finished this morning, actually.
She was laughing out loud.
I was laughing out loud. I got The Librarians and the Mother Goose Chase, which is a novel based on the Librarians TV series, which was hilarious.
Which itself was based on the Librarians movie.
Yes.
With Noah Wiley.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Well, yeah, they're all in the same
yeah.
universe. But yes, and there was actually a leverage joke in it, which just made me laugh. And it was actually really good. I mean, it was as cheesy as the TV show, which, you know, was perfect. The funny thing is I give myself a challenge every year of how many books I'm gonna read.
This was your milestone book?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Not quite. So my challenge for this year was 100 books in the year. This was book 99. So, next book I finish in September, I'll be done my
You're
challenge.
doing so good.
That's cool. And then I'm gonna have to. I try to do a little like roundup of like how many of this kind of books and how many of this kind of books, and you know, that kind of like how many audiobooks and how many graphic novels, because things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Apparently the author has written 2 other ones and 1 leverage one, so I might have to get them all.
So, and the reason the leverage thing is funny, so there's a TV show called Leverage.
Oh, we talked about it before.
That Christian Kane,
okay,
who
yeah.
is in The Librarians, is in and plays a very different character.
So yeah, and it was
he was
his character in this book
Referencing
that
leverage.
referenced leverage.
Yeah.
So which was funny. Yeah. Oh, and also this last week we got one of our friends, Danielle. We've mentioned her a lot. We got her started watching this.
And she really liked it.
She really liked it. She was kind of off-put by the fact that John Larroquette was in it because she's met him and he was a dick. But she got over it, and it was loads of fun.
It was.
We got her hooked.
It's such a fun TV show. If you haven't seen it, the first couple of seasons are on Crave if you're in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're accessible anywhere else, but they're so fun.
And it got canceled.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Sad. Yeah, that's okay.
Sad making. If you haven't seen the movies or come across the TV show, it's like a modern day cheesed up version of Indiana Jones.
Kind of, yeah.
On a lower budget.
Or a low budget Warehouse 13, from what everyone's told me about Warehouse 13, which I have not watched yet. I will have to watch it.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's a great fun.
What else?
What else? I have to flip over my page. Bloop.
She's like crossing things out.
I'm pointing at stuff you can't see and she's mocking me about.
No, I'm wondering why you're pointing at my book.
I watched the end of Doctor Who, like the end of Peter Capaldi's stuff, and everybody's seen it now. It's been out for ages. It's okay to give spoilers, right?
So.
If you don't want to hear Doctor Who spoilers, fast forward about a minute.
You're going to talk for a minute?
Fast forward about 30 seconds. Okay, so Peter Capaldi, in the very last one, he doesn't want to, like, he starts regenerating. He doesn't want to give up this life. So he goes, like, he just, whatever, lands in the Antarctic on Earth and meets up with the very first Doctor. So himself as the first Doctor.
How did they do that? Because
they got another actor.
Okay, I'm like, the actor's dead.
They got another actor, but like
Looked like him, yeah.
showed it transition. And they're both, and he's like, I don't remember this, and they're both fighting with, I don't want to regenerate, I don't want to let go of this life, kind of thing, and it was a really interesting storyline beyond that. But it was really good. It was really good. And
the new Doctor starts in October.
Yeah.
October? I think so.
Yeah, and the new Doctor is a woman, and so we saw the regeneration into her, and that's where the season ended. But there were so interesting storylines in the last couple of episodes that I hadn't seen. Like the Master comes back, and you finally find out what is the strange draw with Missy, who's another Time Lord that you don't really know her history, and it's fabulous. And you find out not just the rise of the Cybermen, but the very first Cyberman, and it's so heartbreaking and tragic, and a Doctor Who companion saves the world with him.
Of course.
Like, not just him, but it only works because she's there. Like, 3 separate times during this one episode. If she wasn't there, it wouldn't have worked. And it's awesome. And it's in this Cyberman episode. It's just amazing. It's amazing. I love strong companions.
Yeah.
Like, not just women who are love interests, but strong companions.
Yeah.
And Bill is a very strong companion. And then they have 2 companions with Peter Capaldi. There's Bill, who's a young girl. You meet her as a child in one episode, and then she becomes the companion when she's an adult. And Nardal, who's hysterical. He's just...
I haven't watched any of the Peter Capaldi era, even though I love Peter Capaldi.
She's a huge Peter Capaldi
I
fan.
am. And I used to be a huge Doctor Who fan. I just kind of lost interest at the very end of David Tennant's tenure. Like the year of the 5 movies or whatever. I watched, I think, 2 of them. Someday I'll go back.
Yeah, I think you would probably prefer just to skip from that straight to Capaldi. I don't know that
I'm not
you'd
a
love
huge...
Matt Smith.
I like Matt Smith as an actor.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily... from everything I've heard, just the storylines involving Amy Pond and River Song and all that, they don't interest me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might skip to Capaldi. I love Capaldi. I've seen him in many things, but the thick of it.
Yeah. The thick of it was a British political satire drama. It was awesome.
Basically, every second word out of his mouth is a swear word.
Oh,
so,
he was... Yeah.
So,
he was...
It's a very
vile.
different... he was vile. It was great. I love vile Peter Capaldi.
Yep.
But, yeah. And we watched a TV show together. Well, I've been watching New Girl. Because, I don't know, somebody recommended it to me. I have no clue. It's on Netflix.
She showed us a clip of them slow dancing
the
chicken dance. Like, you've heard na 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 na. Anyway,
we were doing that at the wedding last night.
We were. It was fun.
Because that's what you do.
And the groom did it, and he looked very uncomfortable, but he was doing it to support his new bride.
Oh, he'll do anything.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're at a wedding doing, like, it's a fast song. Like, the speed I was singing it was kind of the slowest pace of the song. And they were doing it, like...
Anyway. It's very funny.
It was hysterical.
I had shown her that clip. And weren't you there when I was showing the clip of them singing It's the Time of
No, that was the only one. And then...
Oh.
Yeah, and then...
So then I made her watch. I'm in the middle of the second season. Yeah. So, but we started watching from the beginning.
It's hysterical.
I really like it.
And so Zoe Deschanel?
Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel. If you watch the Bones series, it's...
her sister.
Her sister. Bones' sister. And she's a fabulous actress, too. Like, crazy batshit insane on the show. Well, but she plays it well.
The show's been out for quite a while.
Has it?
Yeah. There's like 6 seasons of it, and it's now over.
So everybody's seen it except me, and I'm late to the party. But it's hysterical.
So much fun. Yeah,
like, these guys.
Yeah, so it's a woman who breaks up with her boyfriend and moves in with 3 guys. She
just
finds out of Craigslist. Yeah. And so basically it's about them and her best friend who's a model, and it's just like.
It's so fun. It's like the dudes and this crazy chick.
Except that,
but they get so close. Like, there's one point they find out somebody she was going on a date with, and it's kind of her first, like, going out again, rebound thing, and they find out he thinks she's too clingy or something, so he doesn't even show up at the restaurant, and they find out, and they leave this party that they've been trying to get to forever, and they finally are like getting to the door to get in, and they find out he's a douchebag, and he didn't even text her or call her to say he wasn't coming, so they leave the party and show up and start singing this song from this movie that she's been watching.
Spoilers for the New Girl. But it's really cute. And it's so funny because the guys are like, they're guys I would hate. They're like 30-year-old boys that I just want to smack. And yet I love them.
Yeah.
Like there's one who keeps having to put money into the douchebag jar.
They have a douchebag jar, and every time he says something douchey, he has to pay.
And it's always full. I'm sure they could pay for their plumbing issues with the douchebag jar.
Even he turned, like,
fabulous.
He left the party to go, and he was the first one that really started singing, like, we're here to support you.
No, it was Nick that started singing.
No, but anyway. Like, the loud, like,
But yeah,
we're here to support you.
It is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's really spoilers if it's a 6-year-old.
okay, more than that. So, shall I go on with my next one?
Yes.
Okay.
This one's
so,
cool.
a while back,
You're gonna have to back up.
Yeah, I had talked about how I have a challenge that I want to read one book. Well, it was originally going to be one novel from every country in the world. And then I realized that I read a lot of like travel and bio and history and stuff, and those totally count. So, a book set, the majority of the book has to be set in a specific country. So, like, The Librarians and the Mother Goose Chase did not count because it was all over the world, and not the majority of it any one place. But, and then I said I was going to have a scratch and, well, I keep calling it the scratch and sniff map.
I'm gonna slide over.
I have the scratchy map. It's a scratch off map.
Okay.
So I just started this. I started it when I got the map. And so...
Is this gonna work? I'm gonna try to move the camera.
Okay, so I scratched off. This is the Volga region of Russia. I decided Canada and the US, I was gonna do each of the provinces, territories, and states. And I decided to do that for Russia too. Because I do actually read quite a bit in Russia, set in Russia. So that was Pelagia and the White Bulldog, set in the Volga district of Russia, by Boris Akunin. I have no idea how you say it. And then I got to scratch off New York, which is here. And that was Jane Bites Back, by Michael Thomas Ford, which was hilarious. It was vampire Jane Austen. Hilarious. Okay. And then I got to scratch off England. I decided also I made my own lines here, but I'm going to do England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. That was The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. And then, Bhutan.
Oh, right. It's so tiny. I almost didn't see it.
It's Radio Shangri-La by Lisa Napoli. So I'm having lots of fun. Also, you can just leave it there.
Yeah.
It's got flags across the bottom. So the map is going to be, it's already dusty.
The setting of the book.
The book has to be set majority-wise in the country, but the flags are going to be where the author is from, or where the author was born. Oh, you're way out of frame.
Oh, it's because I turned the camera.
And it's actually really fun. You can tell this was made in China because it does not label Taiwan as a separate country. Yeah. But it
some
also,
of the sections are just weird.
it's really cool. It actually labels quite a few disputed territories like Western Sahara, and then in the flags, it's
That's where
got
it
all
gets interesting.
sorts of cool things like Tatarstan, which is an area of Russia that, anyway.
Another disputed area.
Yeah.
The Tatars.
And then there's a few things that are strange, like it's got a United Kingdom flag, but it also has a England flag and a Wales flag, but not Scotland or Northern Ireland. Who knows? It's got the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, which is another very disputed area. It's just really cool. So I'm actually going to try to do some of the disputed areas and
Maps
stuff
are
as well.
so fascinating.
I love maps. So this is I'm calling it the scratch and sniff map. Doesn't smell that good, so I'll just scratch it. But and I am going to try to read the world.
Yeah.
That's my challenge.
We should totally, where it's not very portable. It's bigger than she thought, so she had to put it on something more stable. But we're going to try and take a picture of it periodically and put it up at the end of the podcast.
Once I get a few things.
Once there's a few more
Yeah.
scratchy areas.
Yeah, so the maps, or the flags along the bottom, I got to scratch off Georgia, because Georgia, the country, not the state.
Not the state.
Because Boris Akunin was born there. I got to scratch off USA, because Michael Thomas Ford and Lisa Napoli were born there, and then Penelope Fitzgerald. I scratched off England. And then if I read something by someone in Scotland or Northern Ireland, I guess I'll scratch off UK. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I love challenges like that.
Yeah.
Anything that gets me reading more or
And
reading
it's a fun-
differently.
It's a fun visual. And it's
I
fun
love
to
visual. Yeah.
reading stuff from authors who not necessarily were born somewhere, but lived somewhere very different from you for the majority of their lives. like the style of writing is so different and
Pelagia and the White Bulldog. It's okay. So it was set like late 1800s in Russia, and it's written like a cozy mystery in the style of like classic Russian literature. It was the strangest read ever.
That's a strange mix.
It was the strangest read ever.
Boris Akunin?
Yeah. So it had like a whole chapter that was kind of this totally like. It's basically written like us. It has wanderings off the topic.
Tangential.
Yeah, and it was all, like a whole chapter that was like about the running of this town that it's set in, and it was really, really interesting. I try not to read books that are just, straight white men in North America. So occasionally those are fun. I'm assuming he's straight. I have no clue.
I read a fair bit of those because a lot of the action-adventure ones tend to be that way, but
yeah.
try to read others when I can, like Tomboy Survival Guide.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just try to read a wide selection of stuff.
Yeah.
And this hopefully will help. Cool. Yeah, I've got a list of books to read so that I get to scratch stuff off. I'm in the middle of a Irish country courtship, which is set in Northern Ireland and written by a Northern Irelander? Ulsterman? I don't know. He lives in Canada now, but he was born in Northern Ireland. So, yeah.
I think that's it.
Oh, we're in under an hour?
Yeah,
What?
barely.
Yeah. Thought we might go long because it's basically
It's been
4
a while.
weeks.
Yeah.
But
Um,
anything else? Nothing?
no, I'm excited about Prince George and the snow.
Not excited about snow. Because guess who gets to shovel the snow?
We both do.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that's what I
shovel
meant.
as much as you do.
No, that's what I meant. Like, it's not like we have someone to shovel for us.
Yeah. Oh. We'll have to start coming earlier this year because we don't have as much time before we open.
I'm making fishy faces.
She is making fishy faces.
Oh, I look like that Lego head.
That was a weird Lego head.
So I'm making little stitch markers out of Lego heads, and there was a Lego head that I was like, okay, is this Lego head supposed to be like puking, or
fat,
or just
like,
fat Lego man?
It
was
had
kinda like
lines
this.
to make it look fatter, and yeah.
Anyway, I threw them out. I didn't like those ones, but there's lots of cute Lego heads. So.
Yeah. There's a creepy winky Lego head, and there's the surprise, and the mad, and the there's the scared one. They're adorable, and she makes earrings out of them, and stitch markers, and progress keepers, and they're adorable.
What else is new?
Nothing. Snow. Does anybody else like snow? Am I the only weird one? All week here it's been gray and rainy, and I've been like,
I like it. I know how long winter lasts here. So if it starts in the middle of September, it's gonna go forever.
Yeah, I'm sick of it by March.
I'm sick of it by January.
Vamp.
Hey, that's already like 3 months into winter.
It was, so my hometown, I was talking to my parents this morning, and they said it was 100 degrees at home this week.
Because they're weird and they go by Fahrenheit.
Like 35, 36, somewhere in there, I think.
I was like, wow, that's hot. Water's boiling. I'm a dork.
We live on the U.S. border. All our news.
Well, and they're older.
Yeah.
Like my mom still uses Fahrenheit.
Yeah. I did too, growing up.
Yeah, because you learned from your grandparents. Yeah. Yep. Canadians are just
weird.
Confused.
We're all weird. I'm not weird. I fit in perfectly with my people.
Yes, I've met your people.
All the Canadians are weird. Take it from me.
They're really not. So many of them are normal. They think we're strange.
Can't imagine why.
But they love us. People like us.
Can't imagine why.
I don't know why either.
Yeah. We had, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, we need to stop.
I think it's time to go.
Yes.
We hope you had a great week. Or a couple of weeks, because it's been a while since we podcasted. And leave comments. All the links for everything we talked about will be in the show notes below if you're watching on YouTube. or on Ravelry, because I'll make sure to add them. She did the show notes last time and didn't add them.
I put them on
Again.
YouTube, but not on Ravelry.
Anyway, we will get the show notes up and post in the KALs. We're still going strong, and we love seeing all your projects and chatter and stuff.
Funny faces, apparently. Sorry.
I think we're going to leave it on that note.
I'm distracted.
Why?
Because I can see my own face.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye!
Bye!